Terry Robinson from Brooklyn, the coolest place in the world. Um, can you please repeat the question, Edmund, so I can formulate an
Yeah,
answer?
the question is, what is your biggest challenge with client management?
Uh, Continuing to engage with pertinent information. You
Okay.
can't, I can't call again. Hi, checking in for one thing. That's just so sad and pathetic, But I always try to call with. Uh, 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 I have a client right now that is a block away from a brand new condo development that is rather controversial in the neighborhood. They painted it pink in Brownstone, Brooklyn. So the whole neighborhood is talking about it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I went and toured it. The developers and agents are friends of mine, and I'm calling them back this listing to tell them, it's pink on the outside, but it's pretty awesome on the inside. So that I'm just not calling them to say, we should be listing this right now. We should be listing this right now. We should be listing this right now. Finding those nuggets to engage with the clientele is always an issue for me.
Okay. And why?
Um, I'm conscious of how I speak to my clients. Again, I don't want to say hi, checking in, because that gives all the power to the agent or to the seller. It doesn't leave you on an equal footing. You're the used car salesman who's calling to see if they're going to buy the car or not. When really, I've got four different people that we should have listed their stuff a month ago, but everybody is dragging their heels. Presidential election, interest rates, I don't know, some combination thereof.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to come up with a new way to call these people back or text or whatever form of communication I have with these people that isn't saying the same thing again and again and again.
Right there with you, brother. Like right now, Nicole, if you could unmute yourself, I want to bring you into this. Nicole works on my team. Just to share a
Hi.
simple thing. Hey, Nicole, great lady, works really hard. We got all sorts of stuff going on right now. Here's the thing. We've decided off an idea that I heard from this group to send popcorn or something for the holidays. Yay, popcorn. So we found out one company. Nicole, what was the cost per unit for the popcorn?
It ranged between 37.95 and 57.95.
Okay, so let's call it $45. Let's call it $40. I'll keep the math easy on me for a second. How many names do we have so far? And by the way, this is not even scratching the surface.
19.
19. So let's call that 20. So we've got $800 in popcorn that if we do
Hmm.
this, we're going to be getting that together. Not only that, but here's the thing. Are the same people going to get the popcorn as the people that got last year? What other marketing materials are actually going to them? What's going to be the follow-up with all of this? Everyone says, and I mention this because this is the time of year where all of you want, I said, people here make pies. I hear like a lot of pies, popcorn stuff. All that's great stuff, whatever it might be. But here's the thing. I've got literally hundreds of people that I could be sending popcorn to. There's no way that I could guarantee that they're going to get it. There's no way that I'm going to be able to follow up. It could be sitting outside getting spoiled, depending upon where they are in the season. There's no way that I could follow up. So the question becomes, we got to dumb this down a little bit. Um, what are we going to do to be able to make something like that work? Nicole, share an idea with me. What do we do to make something like that work? She wasn't expecting that. I'm sure she's kind of biting her lip, freaking out, but fuck it. I'm going to say it anyway. Come on, Nicole.
That, well, we're thinking of creating our own popcorn tins
Yes. A popcorn.
and possibly delivering them in person.
Yes. And focusing in on that crucial 20%. It can't be everyone. But I will say this, if you're going to send anybody anything, you got to send them lots of things. I'll say that again. If you're going to send anybody anything, you got to send them lots of things. So these are the same people that get my weekly email. It's great. All of you should have one. If you need help making one, give me a call. All of them get our monthly snail mail, at least once a month they're getting. All of them are connected with us on multiple social media channels, right? So we've got all that. And then there's a space in this materials here, Terry, for you to make note. What are some motivations for Terry to call some people? Let's go back to that. Anyone could jump in on this. Give me a reason to call a client. Anyone?
Wish them a happy birthday.
birthday. Oh, we love birthdays. I always love my birthday, and I love chocolate layer cake. Just in case anyone's curious, May 31st. Okay, I love chocolate layer cake. Happy birthday. Anniversary of your sale of their property. How about
House,
this?
I
If
call that house anniversary.
house anniversary, great. In Florida, I don't know how it works in with Eddie or Terry or Susan Smith in Jersey Shore. You know, you could feel free to chime in. But if your property taxes are paid in full by November 30th, you get what the county's calling a 4% discount. It's really not. I look at it as a punishment if you pay it by the deadline. But you know, they've made this sound like a 4% discount. So fine, let's go with that for a second. This is a great time to reconnect with people and talk about paying property taxes early. Hey, yeah, this is just part of my service. I wanted to reach out to you. You know that getting the property taxes paid by the end of this month is a discount. Wanted to remind you of that. And by the way, how are you? Is that a good lead in?
Yeah.
Maybe kind of sort. If it sucks, tell me it sucks. I don't take anything personally. I just want to do well here. Susan, I saw
Well,
you on
no,
mute.
that's a
Okay, Eddie, go ahead.
that's a good idea. We don't offer a savings. There's interest that starts after the due date kind of thing, but the 4% is a solid number and say, hey, look, I didn't want you to pay, I didn't want you to lose this $400 or $4,000, whatever it may be. I think that's a great reason to call.
Yeah, it really is. Nicole and Daniel, make a note now. I think I just talked myself into it. This is a physical mailer. This deserves to be a physical mailer that we could actually reach out and you know, we've got a team here that put this together to be able to say the Edmund Bogan team is reminding you that this is something that's a communication point. See, all of you
Edmund, I
individually
mean,
have an
it's
awful lot to say, but all of you universally, it's every person in this meeting just says that you just don't know what to say, when to say, how to say it. Sorry, Eddie, continue.
I was going to say to me, that's a slide dial call or a personal call because, there's no better reason to talk to somebody other than to help them save some money. Hey, I hadn't talked to you in a while, but hey, don't forget, however you want to say it. But to me, that's a voice kind of thing.
Okay, tell everyone in the meeting what slide dial is.
Slide dial is where it's a service that will let you call all of your folks and leave a voicemail without it ringing their phone. It goes straight to voicemail, and they will get the notification of the voicemail.
Yeah. It's great with clients that keep you on the phone forever, by the way. Oh, damn, Susan or Sherry or whoever I'm speaking to, Scott. I am sorry I missed you. It's Ed. Just as a reminder, we need you here at this time. Thank you very much. Boom, you're done. If there's some people that keep you on the phone forever, by the way, we're talking privately here in the meeting. We all have clients like that. You want to say that you're holier than that? I think you're lying. All of us have people where we're really trying to keep our time together. That's slide dial. Slide broadcast is a little bit different, and you could Google this, and you should. Slide broadcast is where you could take a list of names and numbers, upload it into the system, and be able to send a mass voicemail to 1,000 people. But here they've just stepped up a little bit because of voice AI. They're able to mail merge it in. So instead of saying, oh, hey, I'm sorry I missed you, it could actually mail merge it to say, hey, Eddie, I'm sorry I missed you. So it'll get your first point. It'll mail merge each name and leave the voicemail for everyone, for 1,000
Slide
people.
broadcast will say the names
Live
individually.
broadcast has an AI tool now. You have to clone your
Wow.
voice, and you could now, it's a personalized message. So if you're looking for that ongoing means of staying in touch with people, this is a phenomenal tool. It could be abused too, by the way. So don't do that. Don't be the person that's giving like really crappy information or spamming the living shit out of people. Nobody wants that. But
No, but that's how you always knew that it was slide broadcast because it was a guy you knew, but he would never call you by name.
yeah, and
Hey, just wanted to
now,
let you know.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Eddie, sorry I missed you. It's Ed Bogan with
Yes, a big
the Edmund
difference.
Bogan team at Douglas Elliman Real Estate. Hope all's well. I'd love to be able to talk with you about, fill in the blank. Follow the laws in your own community. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what's going on within your own realtor association, your local association, or your local laws, but that's a great tool to use. So there's that. Eddie, you like that? He muted himself again.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like that. I like
Okay.
that a lot.
Got to keep you with me here.
When
Who
you're
else?
when you're on mobile, it takes so much longer to get back to
Yeah, yeah.
push.
No worries. No worries. So let's go back to my popcorn dilemma. We've got all this popcorn that we want to give out to everybody. We've got a cost that's absolutely insane. So now what Nicole and Daniel are doing is trying to figure out how much can we get the industrial size popcorn, have a popcorn party there. Things are actually solved. We've got that. But here's the thing. Remember what I said before. If you're going to send them something, you have to send them lots of things. Because once again, the mistake that too many agents make is they spread themselves way too thin. I'd rather see you hammer away at 40 or 50 people than, send one message only to 500 people. I'd rather see you do that. And by the way, you will find success with that. It's just the law of large numbers does kick in at a certain point. Who does this resonate with? Anybody want to chime in of where this has happened? Jackie, Susan? I'm trying to get people to talk here. It's kind of, help. Lavette, anyone? Ferris Bueller? Jackie, I can hear you laughing now. Jackie, where are you?
Colorado.
Cool. So, well, welcome to the meeting. So,
Thank you.
what part of this resonates with you? Is there any tools that you've been using to communicate with clients?
The birthday thing is big for me. I'm not super great at tracking everybody's birthdays, but I do write them down. For friends and family, and a lot of those people do end up being clients, but I think that's one area that I really need to get better at.
Okay.
And maybe send the popcorn to those guys, or yeah.
Okay. Aside from the birthday, give me one other touch point, because Terry was having a hard time saying, what am I going to do? It's not just Terry, all of us have that. He was just the one with the guts to say it. But what am I going to do? How am I going to, what are the reasons? What is the motivation to call people? So we know birthday, we know tax time. Give me something. Is there anything that you could think of? Anyone could jump in as well with this.
Well, I do holidays. I know that you're doing popcorn. Every year, I bake my grandma chocolate chip cookies, and starting a little before Thanksgiving until the middle of January, I hand deliver them to people because
Sure.
that's the opportunity to call them, to set up the time that you're going to meet, to actually meet. And who doesn't like, grandma's cookies? Um,
It's
gives you,
it's it's anti-American not to love grandma's cookies. You're right.
especially my grandma. She had on an apron at all times, and there was a warm cookie in that pocket if you were about ready to give her grief about anything. So,
Wow.
grandma magic,
You're the man today because of grandma's cookie, I could tell. That's good
I am
stuff.
a rotund man. I am because of grandma's cookies.
Look, I don't mean to be so granular on all this, but there's a reason behind everything that I'm saying. You're spread too thin. If there's two things you could take from this meeting today. You're spread too thin. You're getting your message out in too sparse a manner, and you're not being consistent with that. And if I could add one third thing, and that is tracking. If you could get that down and really learn to do those things, and by the way, as soon as I am able to do this successfully, I'll let you know because I screw this up all the time myself. But it's one of those things that you kind of have to embrace and go through and try and make those changes. And I really keep a team around me to try and focus on that. Give me some other touch points. Okay. It could be Jackie, it could be Susan, it could be anybody could jump in. Kenny, give me another reason to reach out to a client.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is just really open. And my last name's Bellini, so I buy cases of Bellini, which is a peach Prosecco cocktail.
Sure.
Sadly, one of my clients gave it to her grandson, who was a little kid they thought it was like sparkling drinks, and he got a little drunk. But that only happened once. But
yeah.
So I use that label for one. Another thing, real quickly, back to your thing with that discount on your 4%. I would go to another question, just say, ask them, what are you going to do with the money? And start a conversation going, not just, I'm here to call you to tell you to save money. What are you going to do with it? And keep the conversation going. But anyway.
Okay, I mean, it's not that much of a savings, but okay.
Well, yeah, but at least get them
Uh,
talking about whatever.
it's an
Send you the
idea.
money. Okay, just to,
It's an idea.
confuse instead of a yes, no answer, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
But there's more. I mean, we need you all to have an editorial calendar of what's going to be discussed month after month with people and your motivation for actually reaching out to them. So if you could take a look at the table of contents of the handout, again, I'm going through this right here to be able to have some type of ongoing nurturing system for the people that matter. So let me tell you who matters. One, the clients and the lead sources. Who could name a lead source that's given them more than one possible deal? Show of hands or just shout. Okay, Terry, we got him. Okay, Jackie's grimacing. I saw a little look there. I don't know. Okay, Terry, Eddie's. I got a disadvantage. I can't see him. Kenny's moving back and forth. Come on, who's got it? Randy, maybe.
My attorney.
Mhm.
Who was that? Go on, guys. Don't be shy. It's no big deal.
Book club.
What?
Book club.
Book club. I love it. Do men join book clubs too?
Ah,
I'd love
no.
to be in a book club. I know all these women that go to a book club and they never read the book. I always read the book. I don't understand it. It's not about the book, I guess. Okay, book club, fantastic. Give me another way to contact. I mean, we're going to overwhelm you with opportunities here if you choose to do it. But given how quiet everyone is, it's a little difficult here. Who else? Lavette, thank God. Lavette, please talk to us. Tell
I've
me who
I've
you are and where you are.
I've gotten a couple leads from my civic league meeting. I've kind of marketed myself as a neighborhood real estate agent. So I go to all the civic league meetings and I just volunteered to be the head chair of the zoning and improvement committee.
Mhm.
So a lot of stuff has to flow through me now. Um, yeah, so I also anytime I get a listing in the neighborhood, I personally call every single one,
Mhm.
um, letting everyone know I have a listing and to
You
see if
calling everyone in the civic group or you calling the neighbors or both?
neighbors, every
Neighbors.
single one
So
of
you're
them.
circle prospecting.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And how's that gone?
Um, it's so funny. I mean, I do get leads, but yeah, I'm not getting as many as I think I should be getting. Is considering all the stuff I do in the committee in the community. I'm also a neighborhood activist, so I'm really well known. So yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
weird.
But just make sure you're known for not only being the activist, but being the only real estate option for them.
Yes.
For the longest time, I'm a really nice guy in my country club, and a lot of people didn't think of me as a realtor.
Mm.
Sometimes you miss out on that. So if it's very, very important to do this. Here's another thing that some of you have heard me say it in the past, but I think you really ought to consider this. I live in a gated country club community. I created an Instagram account just for the members of this community and their adult children. So it's a country club, 728 of the most fabulous homes here. And I started an Instagram account, which I could post to. There's about 245 people in the group, but all of them really matter. And again, if you're going to send them something once, you got to send them multiple times. So these are the same people that I make sure to get their email address. I make sure to get their snail mail address. I make sure to get all the stuff that's in there so that now I'm the only agent in their mind. I'm their only agent in their mind. And again, for those of you who've heard me say this before, I just think it's really important and worth repeating. Jackie, I'm going to pick on you another second here. Name a cola, not a soda, but specifically a cola. Not that
Coke.
tough. Hmm?
Coke.
Good. Somebody else, name another one. Terry, name another cola.
Pepsi.
Great. Can somebody name a third?
Dr. Pepper?
It's Dr. Pepper's not exactly a cola, but a good try. Who else?
RC.
RC, Mazel Tov. Somebody figured out that RC, that's the distant third. Is there a fourth?
Tab.
What?
Tab.
Okay, Diet Cola, we could go with that. Nobody drinks Tab anymore, but I like your nostalgia.
I don't know that it still exists.
It might not. So what's the point of this little exercise? The human capacity, and this is coming from years of owning a marketing company, the human capacity to know brands is next to nothing. It really, truly is. When you could name a luxury car, you're going to name a Mercedes, a Porsche, a Ferrari. I mean, you can name on the super end, but once they actually have that brand recognition, it's so important for them to remain at the top. Here's the thing, you don't have the budget of Coke or Pepsi, but you do have the ability to captivate 1,000 people. So if you could become the Coke or Pepsi to those 1,000 people, as I'm always doing within the community, guys, this is worth the price of admission today. So please hear this. If you could become famous to just those 1,000 people, you've won. And you're going to make money. You're going to get business, because the reality is that all of them are going to know a certain amount of people. All of them, statistically, 7% are going to sell over the course of the year. So provided there's 1,000 homeowners, 70 transactions will happen. Oh, but Ed, there was only 50 last year. Fine, there's 80 next year. The law of large numbers will always kick in, is absolute. So what you need to keep in mind is that if you're able to truly captivate those people with that, with that messaging, and part of this, all the things that we're trying to do here, building bricks to be able to get yourself out there and for people to actually understand and look at you that way. Think of Coke, think of Pepsi. Now, let's say the biggest Coke, there's two people in my community, Michael Bloom and Paul Fishman. That's Coke and Pepsi. Both of them will argue over who's better. Okay? I need to be Snapple. I need to reinvent it. You need to reinvent the actual product and how people are actually thinking about that. Very, very important marketing concept for you. That if you recognize that there is only a certain amount of capacity that people have for brands, that's why these brands become so big. Once upon a time, there are hundreds of car dealers or car types, when cars were first started. There's only a certain number of airplane brands, right? I mean, you can name them all. Southwest, JetBlue, American, United. Why aren't there more? If you really think about it, why wasn't that? What always happens is that it naturally flows to a singular brand. You can't do that on a county or state or extreme local or just regular local value. You can do it to 1,000 homes. That's why I'm a farmer. And that's why I'd like you to be a farmer. If you can actually farm an area and successfully do that, we could then build a strategy around getting to those people. Some of this might resonate well with you. I like my Instagram account that reaches just out to this community. I like my weekly email. I'm going to try and pull this thing up for all of you to see as well. Daniel, did you get the email started for today, or is that later?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, I won't fault you for it. Don't worry. He's all scared here. I'm not going to do that. But I'll show you last week's email. So you could take a look. And guys, I want you to rip this off and duplicate it. Okay? Because this is working for me and it will work for you if you decide to do it. This is Constant Contact. Let's go into my campaigns and let's take a look here. Okay, so this is last week's email. And why is this kind of important? Here we go. Come on, Ed, where is this thing? Preview, okay. Okay, so this is last week's email. And of course, I use it as an opportunity to brag. This is kind of my brand here. I can't dare take off my glasses because this makes the distinction between me and all the other people that sell. This is a very distinct look. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad, but it's distinct. People see it. And it's another closed, and people could click on these things and see, and they have this. So it's the first thing's a brag. The second thing is all the active listings within the community, which again, Daniel's worked very, very hard at putting together. Thank you very much, Daniel. And here's the output of what actually happens. So we could take a look at what people are really clicking on. If someone is taking a look at the listings at St. Andrews Country Club, we got 51 unique clicks. What are we going to do with those people? Tony Ann Thomas, I know her. Karen Boris, Phyllis Jaffe, Iris Wagman. I know all these people within the community, and they're looking. And as soon as I see that they've actually clicked and they're actually looking there, I ask the question and I talk to the team, what could we do to elevate that, to be able to make sure that they're not only just getting that message, but there's other messages as well, that there's other types of messaging that's actually going through to them. Then the last thing, and it's one thing that's missing from this, this client nurturing, which I think, as I think about it, it's fine because this is about the nurturing, the call to action. All of you need to have some type of call to action for what it is you want to do with those clients. Where do you want to take them? So if it's a lead source, where's Terry? Is Terry still here? I'm missing Terry here. Terry.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, Terry. So Terry, just tell me this. Who was the lead source that you were talking about before that's given you more than one lead?
My
Right?
mortgage guru.
Your mortgage guru. And how many leads has that person given to you that's gone on to close?
Two this year. I'd have to, maybe a dozen over the years.
It's a pretty important guy, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty important guy. Terry recognized that. I don't have to tell him that, but I can't tell you how many times I speak with people here who just dropped the fucking ball. I mean, come on, we're doing stuff here. Let's get this and let's figure out just who are those lead sources. You could in many cases count them on just one hand. But if you're really looking to try and get the edge within your community and within your business, you need to embrace who is going to be that lead source. Now, maybe somebody says, but I'm not as lucky as Terry or as fun or good looking or whatever it is. I'm not able to do all of that. What do I do? I've got someone who I think is the type of person who could be that lead source for me. Great, let's work on that. If they should be the lead that's actually giving you business, if they should be the lead source, but they haven't, what can we do to make you go from point A to point B? That's the question that you're going to have to ask. Embrace all this. Take a look at these sheets. There's a reason behind everything. And there's great opportunity if you just begin to think a little bit more gradually. People just we all have great ideas and would love to be the biggest person in the state. And you'd love to be able to get that out there. Social media fame, we all see that. And I say, screw it. Just try and think a little bit smaller and hammer away at it. And that will be great. Daniel, if you could put your email address into this thing. A lot of people are saying that they are having a hard time printing the workbook. By the way, at every meeting, I'm giving a workbook now. We have a whole series of past workbooks. If anybody would like some copies of that, if anybody would like to talk about coaching and our advanced marketing services, where we're actually taking this on and doing much of the stuff for you, please, please, please reach out to Daniel, reach out to me. We'd love to be able to speak about that. Okay, who else on this topic before we get to wants, needs, and brags? Anyone? Ferris Bueller? Ferris Bueller? Tough crowd this morning, I got to tell you. Got to get the second cup of coffee in.
I'm listening because I'm really just digesting it. I'm trying to get better at these things. I'm horrible at follow-up, and I have KV Core, and I have Vulcan, and a lot of the contacts that I was supposed to call back in a couple months or so, I wasn't doing a great job because they listed and sold much earlier than they said they were going to do. So I'm just trying to get better because I'm just horrible at it. But I'm one person, and I do a lot of cold calling, and I feel like I'm wasting my time with it because I'm getting leads from it, but it's taking way, more time than it takes up half of my day every day, really, from 8 to 12, Monday through Friday. I'm cold calling.
Okay. So maybe it's not the best use of your time.
And that's what I'm coming to realize, like, what should I be doing differently? So I'm really just digesting the information and just really, I decided to really learn more about KV Core and how to put it to better use, maybe some drip email campaigns. And yeah, so I'm just listening for ideas.
Look, I'm a consultative salesman. It's not the only way to be, but I build relationships. I'm always out to lunch. I'm always out to drinks. I'm always meeting with somebody. I'm always somewhere. And here's the good news. I'm right now pretty unstoppable. Unstoppable because I'm the brand and I'm actually getting out there and meeting tons of people, and I'm the natural thing that people think to talk to, and they'll actually come my way. Here's the downside. It takes a long time to get there. It takes a very, very, very long time to get there. So when it does and when it works well. And I want to encourage all of you to consider that. Kristen Scott Holly, where are you, Kristen? Kristan?
Hey, sorry, my voice is going out. I have the flu.
Oh, sorry.
I'm from Virginia.
Okay, cool. So what you had your hand up?
Yes, I just wanted to share an idea. I've only been in the business for 7 months now.
Okay.
And so far, what has really helped me is building a rapport with the lenders.
Mm-hmm.
I have one lender that I'm just really close with, and we have just this little thing going on to where when people come to him and of course they're looking for a house, so they're, trying to get a pre-approval. He'll automatically send them my way.
Okay,
Um,
great.
that going on with a couple lenders, even some banks. I'll just give them my card and just tell them like, hey, look, I'm a real estate agent, and I know sometimes people they come to you looking for pre-approvals and things like that, and they don't have an agent. And I'll just try to express my value to them.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them, like, hey, if you want to send them my way, I'm available and I'm local. I live right down the street, so I just try to do
And
things like
and
that.
now there's a lot of people that sell real estate. Have they given you deals? Has there been opportunity that's come through them yet?
So far I had two closings that came from one of the lenders that I'm close to. And because I'm the only agent and I've been going into those banks for years, so they seen my face and we talk and things like that. And so far they're like, hey, this one doesn't have an agent. I just referred them to you. So far that has worked, and
Okay.
also being a member of a couple groups, just letting those people know that I'm a real estate agent, kind of like what you said, just letting people know and getting their email. But I've known that being a part of a couple groups in my neighborhood, even church, at church, I had like 20 people just sign up just for emails and information, because a lot of people just want to know information like what's the market like. They want to know the process of how to get a house. And so just being at church and just knowing people, just making connections with people, that's helped me a lot too.
Church is huge. Church,
Yeah.
church,
And that's
synagogue, mosque, whatever religion you may be. Again, if somebody says, "Oh, but I use that for my spiritual well-being and I would never want to sell there." Okay, get past that a little bit. A lot of people are doing that, and if you really feel guilty about it, why don't you give a big donation to the church? I'm sure they would say, "God thanks you." So, like, look at it that way. I mean, I think people need to take a very different look at that. I'm glad that you said that. Kristen, could I give you one other tip? I've given this in the past, but I want all of you to hear this. I've
Yeah.
got a friend of mine who is 32 years, 31 or 32 years sober, goes to AA every single day for the last 31 years. He's always at one of the meetings. And whenever he calls me, he's got a lead. And I'll say to him, well, how do you know those people? And he'll give me one of two answers. He'll either say, never mind, or how do you think I know those people? Now, when he says never mind, what he's really saying is it's probably from the AA meeting. When he says, how do you know what? Think I know those people? It is from the AA meeting, but those people are public about their sobriety. He doesn't want to volunteer something that might be a little secret. There's more opportunity that comes from an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting that you could possibly imagine. Because guess what? It's doing everything now. Everyone's like, oh, I got to run into an AA meeting. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying just model it for a second. Hear me for a second. It does everything that I've said for you to do here today. You're building a relationship with a core group of people consistently. Consistently, people have that. You've got a group of people that are committed to helping one another. Okay, let's look at the characteristics of these meetings. And finally, you're still meeting a whole set of new people on a regular basis. So, Kriston, you could do that with church. Somebody could do that with a fraternity, with a sorority, with some type of organization. Some people make it artificial and join things like BNI or some of these networking organizations. Whatever it might be, these models work and work well. Okay, that's my comment for you today. Daniel's email address is in here. Wants, needs, and brags. Does anyone have anything that they want, that they need, or that they would like to brag about? Now's the time to do. Oh, Terry's got something to brag
You
about.
know, we had a very successful real estate slash design mixer at Industry City here in Brooklyn. We had close to 100 people. We had local design houses. We had developers. We had, this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay, that I'll tell you. We had the mayor's brother show up. I was
Mayor
not,
Adams' brother?
yeah, who
Okay.
was a, who was an agent with a rival company. But I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, you kind of look familiar, but we're chatting and we're having a good time. And he invited us to come see his new listings on Sunday and blah blah blah. And I, and I Googled him later and I'm like, oh, well, how
Yeah.
about that?
Well, how about
We have
that?
a quasi celebrity here. But across the board, no matter what industry they were in, because we had architects, we had, Industry City is full of single or small artisan groups, wood carvers, furniture makers, architects, blah, blah, blah. Every single one of them said, when are you doing this again? So instead of this being like once a year, I think we'll do this like in the spring and the fall and try to continue to grow that. We did have like ABC Carpet, Design Within Reach, uh, Restoration Hardware were supposed to come and have a table at this thing, and they all crapped out at the last minute. So okay, fine, screw you. We will focus on more Brooklyn centric businesses that don't necessarily. I mean, those other places don't necessarily need us to promote their business. It would be nice, since you're part of the Industry City family, to do that. But okay, if you don't want to play, we'll still invite you. But we'll focus more on local Brooklyn centric businesses that appreciate what we're doing more. So it was positive. I met with a developer the next day. I've got appointments next week. So it was a positive thing. You'll have to come next March.
Okay. So you see that? Don't be a secret agent. That's the message that we have here. And Terry's very good at not being a secret agent. Who else? Guys, this is an opportunity to give yourself a plug. So please. No? Anyone? Okay, I won't beg. Look, we've got a variety of things. We might be doing an election recap next week. We've yet to let the topics out for November, but we may be doing an election recap. Do me a favor, guys. Don't hate people. It's so stupid. Disliking me because I like a particular candidate is like me disliking you because you don't like Brussels sprouts. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Who cares what's in someone's head? That's the other thing that I see. A lot of you screw yourselves up over ideology and belief. It's a big mistake. Don't do it. Fine, you're right. We win. You could win and be poor, or you could just ignore it and make a lot more money by doing that. I do want to talk about how the election's affecting sales, though. I've got two people that came to me within my community. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. One of them said to me, if that fucking Trump wins, I'm going to list. I've got to sell my house. Then someone came to me that same day and said, if that Kamala Harris wins, that horrible, I'm going to sell. I thought to myself, wow, I'm going to have a sale. This is going to be great. I'm going to be able to do something but I stayed completely neutral with both of those people because why? I've made money under the conservatives and I've made money under the Democrats. They have nothing to do with what I make. Okay, let's just be damn clear about that. What you do and what you're really doing on a consistent long-term basis is really not. Now, you want to argue with that? Let's argue that privately at some point. But I'm just telling you, I've seen people make money in any market. I've had a phenomenal year where a lot of other people had a bad year. I can't brag about that too much. I'm only as good as my last sale. I've had 4 in the last month, which totaled $12 million. It's a lot of money. It's pretty cool. I like making money. That's really neat. But if I brag about it too much, what's going to happen? When the following months is crickets or silence or something like that. You roll with the punches, go with it. You've got the opportunity. Somebody's going to get the deal. It might as well be you. Eitan, thank you for putting out. Eitan's my business partner. I can't wait. You'll be seeing him next week live. He's coming to stay with me, so I'm really happy. He's coming from Europe. And we do provide marketing and agency services that's quite affordable. If you're looking to try and grow out, build your mailing lists, build your email lists, skip trace areas, do social media, work with virtual assistants, get coaching. We have a whole program for everybody. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you'd like to. And Terry, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Terry's ready. When Terry says he's ready, it makes me want to say, it's really great seeing all of you today. It sure is fun having you in these meetings. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
Love that. I love that. Guys, thank you all very much. Download it. If you didn't get this, please send an email to Daniel at Bogan Homes and he'll gladly reach out to you. And if you want to talk, definitely give me a buzz. I hope to see you next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ed.
Ed.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.